So when you are in these situations, instead of inquiring of God, why are you doing this? Why am I in this? Why am I going through it? How do I surrender more? What is this situation telling me to do? What do you need me to do? Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. It's beautiful. I am Monique Carroll. Here I am back with Genesis 48. I'm sure, as you all know, the Joseph story, how it came about with his father Israel favoring him, leading his brothers to be jealous. Joseph telling the story about the dreams that he had regarding that they will bow down to him. And eventually it happened. And so now we are at the point of restoring healing, forgiveness, vulnerability, and reuniting with his family. His father Jacob says he's in his sojourning years of 130 years, which sojourn means a temporary stay. Jacob tells Joseph regarding the dream that God had came to him about the promises. After the great details regarding the blessings of God's promises being guaranteed, he spots Joseph's two children, Ephraim and Manasseh. And when he spotted them, he decides to bless them. Regardless of that, Jacob, as we follow along with the reading, Jacob is almost visually impaired. And because of that, before he blesses Ephraim and Manasseh, he places his hands. His right hand on Ephraim, whom is the youngest, was on his left side. So it was like this. And then Manasseh, who was the oldest, with his left hand on his right side. So it was visually like this. It was crossed, correct? Because he's almost visually impaired, Joseph see the physical mistake in his mind that his father places hands in the wrong positions on the different sons. So familial ties, as always, you see with the oldest, they get the inheritance. In a sense, you see the youngest, of course, being favorited, being liked, getting the most attention. But because the fact that it's supposed to be Manasseh, the oldest, getting the blessings in Joseph's eyes. So here it's not about the oldest or the youngest, but about God's blessings and his calling for our purpose. Roll all the way to Genesis verse 13 through 20. It states in the Message Student Bible that I'm reading, it saw that his father had placed his right hand on Ephraim's head. He thought he had made a mistake. He took over his father's hand to move it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh, saying, "That's the wrong head, father. The other one is the firstborn. Place your right hand on his head." But his father wouldn't do it. He said, "I know my son, but I know what I'm doing." He also still develop into a people. He also would be great, but his younger brother would be even greater, and his descendants will enrich nations, then bless them both. So this is Joseph's father saying, "I know, son, I know," which in states give that God will always know what he's doing and for us to trust him, for us to be still and watch him work, correct? So in a sense, when it looks to us that it's a mistake or it's wrong or why this is happening, to God is, I know what I am doing. He is the I am. And in this situation, God will always be around and God will always know. God has known. And because he's placing his righteous right hand on the youngest one instead of the oldest one, this given in vivid detail, to us it will seem wrong because we don't understand it. And we will be in disagreement because we are human. We can't fathom God's works. We can't comprehend how he moves with his righteous right hand on this earth. So that's the reason why it seems this way that it's wrong. You know, switch the hands. These on the wrong children. To God is, this is right. This makes sense. I know what I am doing. In regarding the blessings of God's promise guaranteed. When Jacob spotted the two children, Joseph's children, Ephraim and Manasseh, he is now seeing the blessings, the overflow of God's promises guaranteed. So in Genesis 12, verses 2 to 3 in the Student Message Bible, it states, I'll make you a great nation and bless you. I'll make you famous, you'll be a blessing. I'll bless those who bless you. Those who curse you, I curse. All the families on earth will be blessed through you. So when we get to Genesis 48, verse 19, verse 18, 19, we notice that Joseph noticed, hey, your hands are on the wrong side. And then we see that Jacob disagrees and was like, I know, son, I know. When he said, I know, son, I know, that's basically saying God telling his children, his sons, a word they call in the Bible, which is all men and women, all children of God, all believers, to trust him. Words of my pastor, who I online scream at his church, Redefined. He stated that we don't have to know everything, but we do need to know the one who knows everything. Let's take a brief moment here to emphasize the word know, K-N-O-W. Know in Hebrew is yada. And I know is yada-e. Yada means to learn, to experience, to perceive, to know. And for Jacob, when he said, I know, son, I know, he knows the experience of the blessings, because Jacob and Esau, he deceived Esau twice. He deceived Esau with his birthright regarding the lentil soup, and then deceived his father Isaac, pretending to be Esau, based off of his mother's Rachel's command, correct? And so with that, Jacob experienced it. Jacob had interrupted God's divine plan, and that already was his blessing. So now he's telling Joseph, I know, son, I know, because he has experienced the blessings in a way where it seems like it's wrong, but it is actually right. Know in Greek is ginosko, and is to come to know, to acknowledge, to perceive, to feel, to become known. Joseph felt a certain type of way of how Jacob placed his hands on his children. The same way we feel some type of way when there's a decision to be made, or when there's an affliction and accountability in our life, and that we feel like we have to question God on what is going on, why is it happening. With that being said, in the Message Student Bible in Psalms 127:3, it states, don't you see that children are God's best gift? The fruit of the womb, his generous legacy. God knows what he's doing. And of course, as his children, we should trust that. God knows how it happens, where it happens, when it happens. He is all-knowing. He is in control. Why not trust God with his righteous right hand on us? Because it's not only for his blessings, favor, and his grace, but to also discipline us, to correct us. God is the lighthouse of the nation. So when we see Jacob blessing Joseph's children, this is foreshadowing that in Isaiah 42:6-7, regarding the things that God is willing to do for his people and will do for his people according to his purpose. It says, I have set you among my people to bind them to me and provide you as a lighthouse to the nations, to make a start at bringing people into the open, into light, opening blind eyes, releasing prisoners from dungeons, emptying the dark prisons. Regarding the Israelites, that through their discipline correction, when God inflicts the punishment because of disobedience and because the Israelites turned away from God, in order to show that God is always in control, in order to show that God's name is on them, that he summoned them, they are his, it's because of God and not because of the people is why he forgave them. It's because of who God is and his character. And it's because he is the lighthouse of the nation, so other nations can fear God and see that, okay, if this is the real living, true God, I need to obey him. When you are in these situations, instead of inquiring of God, why are you doing this? Why am I in this? Why am I going through it? Inquire of him, how do I surrender more? What is this situation telling me to do? What do you need me to do? There's a reason why he chose you. There's a reason why he placed his hands on you. There's a reason why you are going through what you're going through. He's protecting you. He's keeping you safe. He has called you. And there's a reason why you're here on earth. Thank him. Have faith in him. And rest in him. He'll do the rest. Until next time.